Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the LooseCollector Burning Hammer Montez Lee, aka Black Fei Long or Black Bruce Lee, whichever one you want to call it, because that's basically what he is based after, and I think it's really cool. For those of you who are like me, who aren't familiar with what Burning Hammer is, again, don't feel bad. I think it's kind of LooseCollector's version of kind of like a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters, Soul Calibur type of fighting concept. Whether or not they materialize that into a video game or whatever, I don't know, but that's the concept behind this line, and I think it's pretty cool. This figure looks really cool. I got him from Big Bad Toy Store. I'll link it somewhere probably, but anyways, let's get into him because this is actually a pretty cool figure. Let's start with his package. His package is pretty neat. It's fairly simple, nice glossy finish on the outside. Got a nice picture of him down here. It says Montez Lee, looks like flames and stuff everywhere. It says some interesting stuff right there if you want to pause it and read it. And on the back, it looks pretty good. They probably put some more images of him up, but it tells us a little backstory about him. Again, if you want to pause the video and read it, not a bad package. I like it. But let's dig into him. Let's see how tall he is really quick, and then we'll get him next to some other figures because he is a true scale figure. To the top of his head, he is exactly 6.5 inches. Which would make the figure right at 16 centimeters. And like I said, he is a true 1/12 scale. So let's see how he looks next to some other 1/12 scale figures. And first up, we've got him next to his Jada Toys counterpart, the Ultra Street Fighter 2 Fei Long. And I think they look really good. Obviously, they are geared to be basically the same character, just different interpretations as far as ethnicity is concerned. And they both look really good, but we'll dive more into Montez Lee's, aesthetic here in a little bit. And next up, here he is with the Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu, and I think they look fantastic. If you look right here at Montez Lee, his sculpt absolutely rivals that of the Storm, and their sizes are spot on. I love it. And just for some comparison, here he is next to your run-of-the-mill Goku from SH Figuarts. And yeah, SH Figuarts are the 6-inch 1/12 scale, but theirs are always just a little bit smaller. But I wanted to see how he looked with them. And lastly, here he is next to your kind of average size run-of-the-mill Marvel Legends in the form of Boxer's Deadpool. Now, I know Boxer's Deadpool is a little bit older of a figure, so the scale creep hadn't quite creeped in to the line just yet, but I think their sizes work just fine. Now for accessories, he comes with a decent spread of stuff. His price point may have called for just a little bit more, but he does come with 2 head sculpts. He comes with a neutral face on him in the package that looks pretty good, and he comes with kind of a lip puckered kind of face that looks pretty good as well. He also comes with 10 different hands, 2 fist hands on him in the package, and then a nice spread of open like style pose fighting hands that all look really nice. And lastly, he does come with a stand, or like a base I should say, and it's okay to me, honestly. LooseCollector, it's a little cheap. Kind of looks like something from a Lego set, I'm not gonna lie, but I guess it will work for something like this where it's a fighting game. He has some sort of like energy kick or punch or something that he does, and it would have been cool to kind of have an effect piece like that, but for this price point it will suffice. Now for aesthetic, this is a very nice looking figure. His proportions are really good. His sculpt, particularly in the musculature, looks fantastic. Very organic, but buffed up and stuff. Paint throughout, shading everywhere in the muscles. It looks so good. I like the fact that he's got kind of big hands, kind of like how the Jada did with the hands, big old fist. I know that fighting games kind of do that to kind of make them look more like awesome and fierce and stuff when they're doing their poses. Man, this figure looks really nice. Let's pay attention to the shoulders really quick. See how they're up and they're nice and square, and the head doesn't sit 6 inches off the freaking shoulders like a Marvel Legends does, like this, for example. See how high up off the shoulders Deadpool's head sits, and then look how Montez Lee's head sits right here, and look how the Jada's head sits. That's how it's supposed to look. I think they just did a really, really good job with it. And again, I'm going to reiterate, the shading is fantastic on it. My figure has some little kind of a scuff right there. I'm not even sure if the camera's showing you, but I guarantee that well, with 99.99% accuracy, that is just my figure. He just looks super duper good. I like the head sculpts. A little plain, but I think that was smart of them because they weren't really basing this off of an actual guy. But it still looks real enough, but it's not hyper realism. There's nice shading on the faces on both of them, and the hair sculpts look pretty good. Now the pants down here, I like them. Nice texture going on in these pants. Very even a little more coarse than the Jada Fei Long's pants are, so I like that. Now there's not any dry brush or anything on that, but I think that they can get away with it because it is black or whatever, but maybe something would have just made it pop just a little bit more. The crotch piece right here is soft. It's even softer than the one that the Jada came with, so we'll see how that aids or hinders here in a minute with the articulation. The shoes look pretty good. They're not super duper detailed or anything, but they are done clean enough for sure. The cuffs down at the bottom of the pants looks good. It looks like they've sculpted in some room for some leg bends, so we'll see how that goes. The hips aren't wide, unfortunately, like how Storm Collectibles did their Fei Long, so that is good. Just overall, this figure looks just looks incredible. Now for his articulation, this is a LooseCollector product, and we all know historically LooseCollector figures, they're tight, they use kind of weird ball pegs for their stuff, but I'll show you a couple of them, or at least one of them here in a minute to really kind of articulate what I'm talking about. God, I can't talk tonight, but we'll just start with his head. Now he has a neck joint right here, and it will lean forward a little bit. I have not heated him up, so I'd imagine heating him up, it might work a little bit better, but you'll get some forward and back, and you'll get some side to side. I'm going to guarantee that that's just a ball peg down in there at the bottom of the neck, but you do get some stuff out of it, and in the head, you get some extra nuance and movement around, and that's because they did put him on a double ball peg. Now, here is my issue with the way LooseCollector does stuff, and and they're a cool company. They don't listen to me, but LooseCollector, if you watch, change the way you do these little ball pegs. See those little knots and nodules right there on them? That is not good. Over time, in here in this little socket, that will wear down the inside of the actual joint socket and will really mess with and make it loose. Is basically what I was getting at. So you don't really want that, but it still moves around enough. It's just, I think you could have gotten a little bit more out of it if they just did their joints a little bit different. Shoulders, they are tight, but if you play with it a little bit, it will come out above 90, so that's really good. Full 360 in the shoulder. Again, he's tight, but he's brand new, so that's okay to an extent. Now, they put a little bit of a butterfly in here, but you're not going to get much out of it. One, because it's a LooseCollector figure, and you don't get much out of their butterflies because of how tight their joints are. But two, they didn't cut out very much here. They definitely decided they would rather the aesthetic take priority, and personally I kind of like that. So you're not going to get much more across him or anything. This is all the arms are really going to do. So the butterfly doesn't really do much, but that'll be a personal preference whether or not that bothers you. His bicep swivel works just fine. Double jointed elbow, plenty of range. I like that range of motion just fine. That elbow with the skin tones and the paint throughout it kind of hide any ugliness that it might have, so that works just fine for me. Now the wrists are hinges, so you'll get rotation at where they plug in, and if you see right there, there is the hinge, and they work just fine. All the hands are like that. He doesn't have any weapon holding hands, so they're all horizontal. Now, the abdomen right here, he has a diaphragm break right here that I'm pretty sure is probably some sort of double ball peg in there, maybe. And and it's a LooseCollector double ball peg, so it is tight, so you don't get much from that as far as bending. Just a little bit, not very much back, and you get a little bit of tilt, not much twist. It's really tight. I would recommend you heat yours up and see if that helps, which it probably will a little bit. Ball peg down here in the waist, and again, it's tight, but you do get a little bit out of it, and you get a little bit of twist and stuff. Heating him up would definitely work, but I'm not going to stop and do that for this video. Like I said right here, this is a soft piece. We got the legs down here. full split with no problem whatsoever. That engineering looks good, looks very much like a Jada, so I like it. Got a thigh swivel right here that works just fine. Double jointed knee. Proportions look good, and I like the range. For some reason, they decided to give us just one pin down here in the bottom of the leg. Is that good, like saving money? Maybe, I'm not sure, but it looks good enough, so I'm not going to complain. The ankle has an ankle swivel down here, hidden nicely at the bottom of the pants leg. So the ankle is a hinge. It'll go all the way down. It'll come up a little bit, and you get tons of ankle rocker. Look, that looks like a severe injury, but it does work. Peg holes in the bottoms of the feet and no toe hinge. So his articulation isn't nearly as good as how good he looks, but I think you could still get this guy into some poses that you would want to get him into. Yeah, heating him up will probably help him be a little more fluid, but LooseCollector, and we've all known the complications with their joint system, and obviously this one is no exception, but he still moves good enough in my case. Okay, final thoughts on the Burning Hammer Montez Lee here. This figure is gorgeous. I love the paint and sculpt on this figure. He's fantastic. Quite a bit to be desired as far as articulation, especially if he wants to keep up with these two lines right here. But looks-wise, he hangs with them, no problem. If anything, they need to kind of catch up to him. Accessories, he came with a good enough spread. I would have liked to have seen a punch or kick like effect piece, but that's just kind of being nitpicky, and that is, again, to keep up with these two. He is more expensive than these two, so like his appearance looking better, so to speak, is not a surprise. Do I recommend him? Yes, I do. This is a cool figure. If you're into this, kind of fighting type stuff, yeah, pick him up. You will not be disappointed. If you're somebody that's not into this stuff, then buying him's not going to, this figure isn't going to sway you over into this type of action figure. But I will give him overall a B-. Lots of room for improvement, and that's mostly in the articulation department, but that's going to just be a kind of LooseCollector wide kind of swap to change up the way they do their joints and stuff. But overall, yeah, he's a good figure. If you're into this stuff, pick him up. With all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.